The second artificial cloning vector is PUC18. So P should be small, UC18, 8. There are two types actually, PUC18 and PUC8. I'm talking about PUC8 here. Okay. P means plasmid, U means University of California. University of California. So that is built by the students of California, research students actually. Okay. So plasmid of University of California 8, even plasmid of University of California 18 is also constructed. So this is actually the diagram. There are so many restriction sites are there in this particular plasmid, okay, like PBR 322, but we are not going to talk about it because it is not given in your NCERT. Even for your competitor also they will not ask anything else. But one thing could be asked actually, see this particular gene, why this is actually useful compared to PBR 322, okay. The thing is, PBR 322 also got high copy number ability. At the same time, this PUC 18 or 8 also got high copy number ability. Both are same actually. But in the selection procedure, like selection of transformants, is easy and convenient compared to PBR 322. In the case of PBR 322, the replica plating is a very difficult procedure actually. Got it? It's not that easy. Simply like you have to replica plate and it's a simultaneous procedure and you should be very accurate. Okay. So a small mistake in the procedure could spoil your entire experiment actually. So people or scientists prefer this PUC, that 8 or 18, because it has got a gene here. That gene is LAC-Z. What is the function of LAC-Z gene? We all know that LAC-Z gene produces beta galactosidase enzyme. That this gene produces beta galactosidase enzyme, correct? So taking this as advantage, the people start preferring PUC 8 or 18, so that in the screening is nothing but selection. So we write that you get this question for competitive only, screening of transformants. What is the meaning of screening? Okay, it has got one more name actually, that is also called as blue-white screening. Very important. Blue-white screening could be asked. Let me just give you the code word to remember, not code word, not mnemonics. First important fact. Blue-white screening is, for example, in the Petri plate you get blue colonies, that is blue colored colonies. If you get it in the Petri plate after the experiment, okay, so this should be considered as the non-transformants. That means the experiment has failed. Formants, okay, fine. Non-transformants or non-recombinants. If you get white colonies, white bacterial colonies, white colored colonies, okay, then it is nothing but opposite, that is containing transformants. That is your experiment is success. Got it? So this is the selection method. It is called as blue-white screening or screening of transformants. Got it? Okay, the color. First, let me tell you before I talk about the PUC 18 and how exactly the procedure is done. We have to consider take a Petri plate actually. The Petri plate contains three important compounds, that is agar medium. Hope you know the meaning of agar, extracted from Gellidium. Okay. The next is it has got antibiotic, that is ampicillin antibiotic, and it has got one more organic compound, that is X-gal. What is this X-gal? X-gal is nothing but it contains galactose. To the galactose, indole is added. That's it. Okay, it's a type of an organic compound containing galactose, and to the side chain the indole is added actually. I'm not sure about its structure, chemical structure. Just remember X-gal. Okay, it's very important because X-gal means it is nothing but galactose. So we have LAC-Z gene here that is going to produce beta galactosidase. This beta galactosidase obviously it's going to react with the X-gal. Gal is nothing but galactose. Okay, and break it. So during the process reaction, the galactose will be broken down into tiny other compounds actually. During this process, the color of this entire medium changes to blue color. Got it? Blue color. This is the thing to understand, the basic. Now, let us say this is normally like a normal PUC 8, which is not actually inserted, by the gene of interest. So it is not like this. Okay, so I'm going to insert this, like that. In the procedure itself we'll understand it. Fine. So I have drawn the same diagram here, same PUC8, and you could see this is actually the segment where lac Z gene is present. Okay, now I'm constructing recombinant DNA. So let us assume that, so I'm going to treat with the restriction enzyme, and here also same restriction enzyme, and I'm going to insert this. So better I use different color. Okay, I use this. This is the passenger DNA, gene of interest, which is now being introduced. The thing is, see, the restriction site for the specific restriction enzyme I have used here is exactly present this here. So that contains lac Z gene. So what's going to happen to lac Z gene? They get inactivated, and the process is called as insertional inactivation of the lac Z gene when a gene of interest is inserted into the site where lac Z gene is situated. Done? Okay, so we are 100% sure that this particular recombinant DNA is not going to produce beta galactosidase enzyme. That means if I put this in the petri plate containing X gall, it's not going to give us blue color because it's not going to produce reaction with the galactose. Done? Okay. Here I am going to try to insert the other same foreign DNA to the another PUC8 here, but it failed. Somehow it failed. That means I have retained lac Z gene. And here you could see that exact opposite to lac Z gene, you see ampicillin resistant gene. Here also you see ampicillin resistant gene because both are same plasmid. Done? Okay. Now we are sure that if I put this bacteria containing this in the petri plate containing agar and ampicillin and X gall, and they all actually will survive because they have ampicillin resistant gene. Correct? Both have ampicillin resistant gene, they will survive. Okay. X gall, it is depends on the color. Okay, depends on the presence or absence of lac Z. So in this case, if I just introduce this to this, what's going to happen is it's going to produce beta galactosidase and react with the X gall and give you the blue color. So this is blue color colony. It is 100% sure that reaction has occurred because of the presence of beta galactosidase, because this gene has produced it. So blue color. So 100% they are non-recombinants now. And I am going to introduce the same into the same petri plate now, and it has no lac Z gene and it's not going to produce beta galactosidase, so it's not going to react with X gall. What's going to happen here? You are going to get a white colony because the reaction has not occurred. So which one you prefer now for your experiment? This one, because they are transformants. These are non-transformants, and this method is called as blue-white screening. Blue-white screening is normally used, or they use PUC8 or 18 type of cloning vectors. Blue-white screening is not employed in the case of PBR322. Got it? Only PUC8 only, because they have this gene. Note this one. PBR322, do they have lac Z gene? No. PUC18, yes, because it is constructed artificially. Got it? So this is the thing actually. Both, one more thing, remember that this is rDNA. This is normal PUC. It's failed in the procedure itself. So if I introduce both, they will survive in ampicillin. Why? Because both contain ampicillin resistant gene. But color production is depending on the presence of lac Z gene. In this case, insertional inactivation has occurred. In this case, no. So they are going to produce blue colonies. In this case, no blue colonies, only white colony. So white indicates these are transformants. Done? Hope you understood this. Okay.